Connect back. Perfect. I think this is going to turn out good. So is it down? So for my next week's sleepers and busts, I honestly think I did really good on this one. My sleepers, I said Odell Beckham versus the Jaguars. I think he's going to have a big game.
I was going to pick him.
He's a good player. I still have a lot of hopes for Odell, and I think he's really good still. I said Ezekiel Elliott versus the Chiefs. I still also think Zeke is a beast too, and I think he can be, and we saw that this week. He had like 22, and he cooked. And when they let him cook, he cooks, and he's a huge running back still, so he's going to do that.
Sure.
And then I said Gabe Davis versus Dallas. I'll just get into my bust because I said Stephon Diggs is going to be my first bust against Dallas. I think our team is just cooking too much right now to the point where the best players on the teams aren't going to be able to do enough. Like we saw that last night. Devontae did pretty good compared to AJ, I think, and I just think it's going to happen again. I have Garrett Wilson versus Miami for my bust. You got Jalen Ramsey on that team. Just you don't want to start Garrett Wilson, I don't think. I will say, though, I almost put him as a sleeper, though, because I do love the Wilson-to-Wilson connection still. I'm not a Zach Wilson fan, but I'm a firm believer still. And then I said, for my last bust, Calvin Ridley versus the Ravens. I think the Ravens have something to prove against the Jags, and that's always a good game. So those are my picks for week 15.
Okay. So my first pick is kind of random, but Chiefs D. I feel like they'll show out against the Patriots, who have put up like a whopping. Well, besides last week, they put up 21. But keep in mind, those the Steelers defense that good on paper, horrible, like actually horrible. They're like 31st. Okay, and then moving on to James Conner, I think he'll have a good week because I don't think that even though they play the Niners, but he always kind of does okay against them, like oddly enough. So I think he actually got injured against them last time, so maybe he'll have a revenge. He got injured and he got in a fight, so maybe he'll cook. Okay, that's my logic. And then my last pick is Joe Flacco. He had 20 points this week, and he is playing I completely forget, but it's somebody like not that good. So I'm gonna go with it. Bears, yeah. See. Yeah. Okay. And then my bus, I have Drake London. He's coming off a really big week. I don't expect him to do that again. So that's my logic there. TJ Hawkinson, I don't think Dobbs is going to start after this one. He got benched. So we'll see what happens with that. And I'm just going to say he's going to have a bad week. Just for fun. And then my last pick is Cole Kmet. I don't think he's going to do much against the Browns. Yeah, I cut him. Yeah.
All right, my sleepers this week, I had Alexander Madison, no Jefferson, Dobbs, they're more reluctant to throw the ball right now. They're playing the Bengals. Their defense is kind of mid, so I feel like he's going to have a pretty big week. Amari Cooper, they're playing the Bears. Joe Flacco,
Last week made me lose all hope for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco, maybe there's something there. And I said pretty self-explanatory. I just said Purdy. I just threw him in there. I feel like potential statement game as far as like he goes. Maybe MVP, something like that.
Him cooking that game is his MVP case, I think.
Yeah, I think if he like stat pads that game, that's gonna put him up for some MVP points. My busts, I said Sam Howell. They play the Rams, who have been on a hot streak and will want a big win after last week's game. He's looked great all year, but I got a feeling about that one. And I said Bijan playing the Panthers, and the Panthers, not a great team, but I don't think they're gonna do much.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty bad game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty terrible game. And then, did you also say Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. Said Garrett Wilson as well. Plays the Dolphins and the Jets. QB troubles. Wilson doesn't want to show up.
Part of me join back. Part of me feels like he's gonna go off. Honestly, I don't know why. I feel like he might. But last thing before we get to our game predictions, I wanted to add one sleeper, David Njoku. Again this week, he was crazy last week. He had 2 or 3 touchdowns, and it was insane how much he did. And he looks like Flacco's favorite target, and he is a top 5 tight end when he's being used. I think last year he proved that. So